now it is Dremel time. So right now I'm hoping I don't have to cut the deploy too much, even though I am fully able to. I'd rather only cut up one shell if I only have to. It's more of a laze thing. So, gonna get the music going and I'm gonna cut. I almost forgot safety glasses. That is incredibly important with Dremels. Always wear safety glasses. Because crap flies, and I don't want to have worse vision than I already do. Alright, so that's the first cut made right here, separating these. I'm not too worried about these being super clean cuts because I've given myself a lot of slack. Like, for example, the deploy grip's going to go down a lot farther than this, so I'm just doing this to get this out of the way so that way I can just trim it later. This is the whole measure twice, cut once. Well, yeah, I do more or less measure once, cut twice, because I always give myself more slack. In jobs, that wastes money, but in Nerf, it's more or less a time waster. Unless you just bought a brand new blaster, but even then it's like, eh. Alright, so continuing the cutting. This is kind of an example of that. I need to clean this up, so it works out because I gave myself more room than I needed. Now to actually separate this. Now I did mess this up a little bit, so that's going to require some patching and cleaning up, but for the most part, it's okay. I can deal with this pretty easy with just some epoxy putty. That just means it's going to need to be painted now, which I don't mind. So I can just find some obnoxious yellow color and it works.
Yeah, these posts are just annoying.
Once again, this is going to require cleanup and some epoxy putty to make it work out better, but for the most part it's good. Alright, so that's what's remaining of the shell that we haven't cut yet, just for the sake of simplicity, I guess. So now I'm going to use this to kind of mark out where else I want to kind of cut on the deploy. Alright, so now I need to kind of gut the inside of this, so I'm gonna do that now. Oh yeah, Dremels are rotary tools, so that means they want to spin around stuff if you let them. Try not to let them.
Switching out bits, because now I need the bigger one.
Don't let that happen either.
Yeah, that was a good example of what not to do. Let it spin completely down first. Because that could have been way worse. Luckily, it was not.
Alright, so now I'm realizing what I'm going to have to do is cut down the back of the deploy or cut into this. So I'm going to cut into this because, well, a lot of the space on the deploy back here is there because it's needed. Honestly, the most I could do is cut out, like, here to here, and that's not going to help too much. So, I'm going to kind of mark out where I need to cut and then cut. So now we have a nice big hole here, and hopefully, ooh, that works out just nicely. Though, I need to cut out just a bit more. So now I have this nice big hole that lets me, I don't know, be fancy, do polycarbonate or something. I don't know. I still need to cut out a bit of this, and I'm good. At some points the Dremel is pointless, especially when it's just a little bit you can snip out, a little more precise, so that's what I'm doing. Alright, so now I need to get this all nice and flat in here, so I'm going to do that with a smaller bit. Alright, so I got this all nice and good, now I'm just gonna trim that. I can't. It's hard.
Where did my Sharpie go? Dude, there it is. Okay. So now I'm coming into the issue of I just need to completely cut off the bottom bit for it to even start to consider fitting. So that's what I'm going to do.
Alright, so I did mess up cutting this bit out, but I realized that gives me a slight advantage because that gives me something to kind of angle up to mend the two bits. So keep in mind, a mess up can actually help. Because now, that lets me do, for doing this crotch shot, that lets me do something like this, which helps me out a lot. Because that just means it's going to help it kind of look even.
That's more trimming now. You probably shouldn't trim with the Dremel. I'm doing it out of lack of any better tools for this. Oh, that's really nice. Especially with this. I'm actually just going to cut this off. No, not totally, probably about here-ish, but for the most part, good bit of it's going to go just for the sake of what I want consume like 50 bits of plastic. I hit my neck and now it's all like itchy because it just, hot plastic dries out your skin super quick. Because, hey, it's hot plastic. If it doesn't stick, it's gonna fall off and, tear away all of the oil because it's stuck that little bit. This is your daily reminder to not do drugs and do America instead.
So this is kind of what I'm planning on doing. Something like this. So that way, it's kind of a smoother merge. Here, I'm just gonna go over to the bed, grab you, and show you. Something like this, if it would focus. Focus. There you go. So that way, once these are tacked and lined up, that's all good.